Welcome to the Oilers TV live show. I'm your host, Tony Barr. Thanks so much for making Oilers TV a part of your afternoon. The Edmonton Oilers skated at Terwilliger Rec Center this afternoon following a Game 1 defeat to the Chicago Blackhawks. 6-4 was the final here at Rogers Place on Saturday afternoon. They, of course, will look to even things up tomorrow, Monday, at 8:30 Mountain, 10:30 Eastern, with a late puck drop. Now, we will be hearing from Leon Draisaitl. Draisaitl, of course, had 1 goal and 2 assists in last night's defeat. Adam Larsson and James Neal, who also scored yesterday afternoon. We will be hearing from head coach Dave Tippett tomorrow morning. So no bench boss today for the Oilers. It'll be the 3 players, and then you can join us tomorrow for our live show as we will be streaming the Dave Tippett media availability from the JW Marriott ahead of Game 2 against the Blackhawks. Now, just to recap a little bit of what happened in Game 1, the Oilers power play, well, it picked up right where it left off, going 3 for 4 on the man advantage. But they were heavily outshot due to their 5-on-5 play. 42-29 was the final shot total. Again, the final being 6-4. Now, there was a moment in the game where Tyler Ennis got his head nicked by former Oiler Draisaitl. Tyler Ennis, we can report, did skate today, so it doesn't look any worse for wear. Draisaitl, though, handed a 1-game suspension by the NHL Player Safety Department. So it will be no Caggiula for Monday, and it looks like Tyler Ennis is healthy enough to draw in. So just a note in case you missed that today, Oiler fans. Now, of course, the Oilers, they didn't get the result they wanted yesterday on the ice, but someone in Alberta got the result they were hoping for, as yesterday's 50-50 was an Edmonton Oilers record. The pot total for the Remax 50-50, $762,550. Someone took home $381,275. That's a pretty big win, and I actually do have the winning number. So just in case you missed it, the winning number was A282-378-79. Again, 282-378-79. Again, taking home $381,275. Just incredible. Now, just a reminder that every Oilers game day will have you fans having the opportunity to take home the grand prize from the 50-50. Of course, half of that goes towards the Edmonton Oilers Community Foundation, and the other half straight to your bank account if you get the winning number. The Remax 50-50, again, runs every game day, starts at 9 a.m. So you can start purchasing tickets as early as 9 a.m., and they go till 10:30 p.m. Mountain, with the announced winner at 11:30 Mountain every single game day. So be sure to hop on the Remax 50-50 if you can, which will be going tomorrow again. With Game 2 tomorrow at 8:30 p.m., you can, again, purchase until 10:30 p.m. Mountain. So we're going to be waiting for Leon Draisaitl, Adam Larsson, and James Neal. So stay tuned here on Oilers TV.
Leon Draisaitl, James Neal, and Adam Larsson. We have a couple questions already lined up. We'll start with Reed Wilkins. Reed, as soon as your microphone is active, you can ask your question.
Thanks, Andre. Good afternoon, guys. I'll direct my question to James. You've played in a lot of playoff games and in a lot of playoff series, and they go up and down and back and forth a little bit. In your experience, what are a couple of keys to recover from a game that obviously didn't go your way? And I'm sure you guys feel you can play better than you did yesterday.
Yeah, for sure. I think obviously it wasn't how we wanted to start the series, but that being said, there's lots of up and downs through a playoff series and as you go along here. So for us, it was a little bit of a wake-up call. I think we kind of just dipped our toe in the water and we weren't fully committed to how we need to play. So we had a good practice today. We'll put that behind us, learn from it, and be a lot better tomorrow.
Next question, Jason Gregor. Jason, as soon as your microphone is active, you can go ahead.
James, your experience in playoffs, you might have the most on this team, and it's a real roller coaster up and down. And I know everybody says, and it's a cliche because it's true, you got to stay even keel. But in a best of five where it's obviously shorter, what message do you say to your guys to not get too wound up after one loss?
Yeah, it's definitely a shorter, 3 out of 5. So I think you just go into tomorrow's game and look at it as a must win. And, we just need to play a lot better, I think. And that's to each guy. I don't think, it was just one or two guys. I think it was a lot of guys that, didn't bring it. And for whatever reason, we're just a little hesitant in our game. So, we just need to be a lot better. And we know that. And I thought, like I said, we started in practice and had a good practice today. And, after games like that, emotions run high and, you think the world's coming to an end for a little bit. So you need to sleep on it and come back and kind of put it behind you and refocus. So we'll learn from that and we'll be a lot better tomorrow.
Next question, Brian Rashad. Brian, as soon as your microphone's active, you can go ahead.
Thanks, Andre. Question for Adam Larsson. Adam, just looking at you and your D partner, Oscar Klefbom, whether it's against Taves or Kane or whoever it is, what things do you guys as a pairing look to shore up a little bit in the next game between the two of you?
Well, I think it's obviously looking at yesterday, we didn't go as we planned. And just moving forward here, we have to play them a lot harder. Having a little bit more under control. There are really good players that you have to be aware of. And it's going to start tomorrow and it's a very important game for us. And yeah, it's play them a lot harder and a lot smarter.
Next question, Mark Spector. Mark, as soon as your microphone's active, you can go ahead.
Yeah, Leon, your coach.
Mark, we can't hear you.
Coach talked up. You got behind a little.
Mark, we're having problems with your audio. We'll come back to you in a second there, Mark. Next question will be for Jack.
And not just you, the whole touch. Sorry.
Did he just walk over?
Leon, I wanted to ask you, is what happened the other day at all a reminder of San Jose Game 4? And can you draw upon that experience?
Sorry, go ahead, Jack. Go ahead again.
Andre, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Sorry about that.
No, my apologies. Leon, I wanted to ask you about some parallels that maybe you can draw between yesterday and Game 4 against San Jose, where, again, it necessarily didn't go your way, but you guys were able to come back in 2017 and kind of close out that series in a similar scenario where 2 more losses would have eliminated you.
Yeah, obviously, like James said earlier, it's a shorter series. So, we have to obviously try to limit our mistakes. And yesterday there's just way too many. So I think we know that. We know what we have to do better. like you said, it does have that same feeling. I think we came out the next game and just played really solid, and I think that's just what we're looking for tomorrow. Nothing special, just trying to bring our A game.
Next question, Ryan Rashad. Ryan, go ahead.
Leon, just following up on that a little bit, I know you guys have set a high standard for yourselves this year, and maybe just talk about striking the balance of being appropriately frustrated with the way that game one went and kind of getting over that and staying even keel heading into game two. Like, how do you kind of harness the frustration but get yourself in the right headspace?
Yeah, I mean, of course, there's a little stretch where you're very frustrated, especially after the game, last night. But today's a new day. Like James said, we had a great skate today, and I think we know what we have to do to, be successful and be a good team and a hard team to beat. So you have to be frustrated about it for a little bit, but you obviously can't dig too deep into that. It's one game, and we have to look forward to try and win game two.
Mark Spector, go ahead.
Sorry, guys, if that was on mine, I apologize. Leon, one of the things perhaps that happened in game one was you got behind a little bit, and everybody, as Dave Tippett said, they were cheating to try to catch up. One of the things this team got really good at this year is being patient, right? And waiting for your opportunity and not cheating to get goals to erase a deficit. Can you turn that around? Is it that easy to just be patient in game two and wait for your chances?
Yeah, I think we know that we're not going to win by, opening it right up and try and beat teams by, 7 goals. I think we know that, especially in the playoffs, there's not very many games you're going to win if you give up 6. So, yeah, like I said, we know what we have to do. We know we have to be solid in all the areas. We know what our strength is as a team, and we're obviously looking to get back to that, simple game that makes us very effective as a team.
Next question, Jason Gregor. Jason, as soon as your microphone's active, you can go ahead.
It's for James or even Leon or Adam. This situation's so unique for you guys because everyone's together all the time. Is that a positive in a way after something like this? Like, does it give you more time to, I don't know, if you're playing cards or you're playing shuffleboard or cornhole I saw is outside there? Like, is that better than having maybe guys go their separate ways? How do you use that as a positive?
Yeah, I think, I think you're playing for each other more than anything. I think, even it goes into the games with the no fans, so you're looking at the guy next to you on each side, and you're playing for a little extra for them. So it gets you tight. We had a tight group anyway. We had a great locker room. We had a lot of great guys in our dressing room. We have a lot of fun together. So it's always nice to be around the guys. I think anytime, you talk to a player that's retired or out of the game, the thing they say they miss the most is, hanging with their teammates. So for us, we're getting to see a lot of each other.
Next question, Derek Van Diest. Derek, go ahead.
Yeah, I guess this question for Adam and maybe James, you want to chime in as well. I just want to ask you about in a situation like we're in right now where there's no crowd, there's no energy in the building, and I know playoff hockey is all about emotion and maintaining that level of intensity. How do you guys manufacture that or try and maintain that when you don't have that energy in the building? Like, do you have more chatter on the bench when someone makes a big hit? You have to kind of be conscious of, okay, we're going to have to cheer that on, or we're going to have to cheer those good plays on, or we're going to have to be a bit more kind of cheerleaders than maybe we normally would when the building is full and they kind of do that?
You want me to take it?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it's a different situations. But I mean, like when we're out on the ice, it's still the game of hockey, and it feels like any other game, but it's a little different on the bench in the or in going out to the rink. That's probably the biggest difference, but playing is the same. And I think just having a lively bench will get you a long way.
Next question, Bob Stauffer. Bob, as soon as your microphone's active, you can ask your question.
All right, this question's for James. You've got probably the most playoff experience of anybody. Is it possible, the way the game's played today, to be as physical as maybe some of those playoff games that you've been involved with in the past? Or is it a different game? Because, many of us grew up watching games where there were 60, 80, 100 hits. I'm just wondering if you can play that same type of game today, get everybody physically engaged, as maybe, when you broke into the league or a few years ago.
Well, I think it has to do with the teams and the matchups for sure. I think, depending on who you're playing, whether you're playing more of a skilled team or playing more of a heavy physical team. But I think the team that has the combination of the skill and the willingness to be physical and do all the hard things that help you win is going to be the team that wins the Stanley Cup. I think you saw that with St. Louis last year. They had skill, but at the same time, they're a heavy, strong team. So you need to have it all. And I don't think our game was nearly physical enough last night, and we need to be better in that area because Chicago's definitely a skilled team. We can definitely be harder on them.
Thanks very much to Leon, James, and Adam. That'll be it for now. We'll have the head coach, Dave Tippett, joining us shortly, so just stay tuned. Thank you.
And there was Leon Draisaitl, James Neal, and Adam Larsson, as you may have heard at the end of that press conference, that we will actually be hearing from head coach Dave Tippett in just a few moments. So we'll take you right back to the JW Marriott as soon as the Oilers bench boss takes to the stage. Now, just want to talk about a couple of things that James Neal and Leon Draisaitl focused in on. James Neal called tomorrow's game a must win. Of course, in a shortened best-of-5 series, getting off to a good start was ever so much more important, but they obviously didn't get to the start they wanted. But they said, you know what, we were emotional after the game. We were emotional. We let ourselves be frustrated for a little bit, but we came back to the rink ready to go today. And it was great seeing the guys laughing off when the Zoom call wasn't really working. That means they're in good spirits. So that's good to see on their end. James Neal also said two words that really stuck out to me. He said, wake up. We need to wake up. As a group, we need to wake up. He said, I'm not pointing the fingers at just a few guys. I'm pointing the finger at us collectively. We all need to collectively wake up and fully commit to the way we need to play. Because Oilers fans, I don't know about you, but I sure know that the Oilers are capable of playing 5-on-5 with any hockey team in this league, and they just came up a little bit short yesterday, again being outshot yesterday 42-29, but I fully expect the Oilers to bounce back with a good Game 2 effort. Now again, Dave Tippett is going to take to the podium soon, and in case you missed the early portion of this show, Drake Caggiula has been suspended for the Chicago Blackhawks for his high hit on Tyler Ennis. It will be interesting to see if that has any implications on the ice. You did see Ennis go after Caggiula afterwards because it was high. It was kind of tough to tell in real time, but the replay definitely showed it, and the NHL player safety came down with it. Leon Draisaitl also mentioned that, we just got to limit the mistakes. He was very honest in saying we made way too many mistakes yesterday, especially in the defensive side of the puck and not taking care of puck possession when we can. It looks like Dave Tippett is on the podium at JW Marriott. Let's jump to the Oilers bench boss right now.
Thank you, and I will ask you to unmute your phone and we'll get started. We have a first question from Jason Gregor. Jason, as soon as your microphone's active, you can ask your question.
Well, Dave, you were pretty candid last night or yesterday. You didn't like the overall work ethic of your team. Your players said that they felt they had a better skate today. The last game's in the past now. Now you look ahead. What are little things you try to work on in practice to ensure that work ethic and battle will be there tomorrow?
Well, it's amazing that the work ethic and battle wouldn't be there for great game one, but for whatever reason, we were sluggish. There's things you can work on in practice. Like we worked on some things in practice today. We talked about some things, but unless you're willing to do them in a game, they don't matter much. So it's about doing it in the game. We look back at last night. We talked about it. it's in the rearview mirror. We got to play a lot better tomorrow. Again, you can talk all you want, you can practice things, but unless you bring it in a game, it's all for naught.
A question from Daniel Nugent-Bowman. Daniel, as soon as your microphone is on, go ahead.
Yeah, Dave, just to piggyback off that a little bit, you said how disappointed you were. When watching the film today, aside from the power play, was there anything that you did like or that you feel you could build on for Game 2?
We had some players that actually did some things well, did what we expect them to do. We had too many players that didn't, and we had some key players that didn't play near as well as we would have liked. And when this is a game and you get in playoffs, you need everybody maxing out. And last night, for whatever reason, we had some guys that just weren't up to par for what we expect from them, and I expect them all to be better tomorrow.
Next question, Bob Stauffer. Bob, as soon as your microphone's open, you can go ahead.
Dave, do you need a greater physical commitment from all your players against Chicago? They're a skilled team, and I know you got a lot of skill too. You had some good moments from your third and fourth lines, but you need everybody physically engaged.
Well, physically engaged, Bob, just doesn't mean going around hitting people. It means winning battles on the wall, battles for net front presence, checking. I mean, things like that. We need to be a lot more physically engaged that way. And what it does, it allows you to have the puck more. When you're not winning battles, when the other team's winning the puck more than you are, you're going to be chasing the game. And that's exactly what happened last night.
Next question to Ryan Rashad. Ryan, as soon as your microphone's active, you can go ahead.
Thanks, Andre. Dave, just a thought on Klefbom and Larsson, the pairing, and maybe some things you'd like to see from them to dial their game back in and tighten things up a bit.
Both of them need to be better. We rely on them for big minutes. Both of them were poor last night. We need to have them better.
Next question from Mark Spector. Mark, go ahead as soon as your microphone's active. Go ahead.
So if we read you right, Dave, this wasn't an X's and O's thing. So I would ask you, do you coach more between game 1 and game 2 or coach less? Do you need to put these guys in front of a chalkboard, or do they need to get their own act together, and do they need your help?
I think we all help each other in this, but like I say, you can talk about it and you can practice, but unless you bring it on the ice, and that's coming from being an ex-player, you can have lots of direction, but you get on the ice, you got to bring it on there as a team, and we didn't do that last night. So hopefully, the talking and the practicing today will help us in that vein, and we show up tomorrow and put a lot better game on the ice.
Next question to Derek Van Diest. Go ahead, Derek.
Yeah, hi, Dave. I just wanted to ask you about, playoffs are about emotion and about maintaining a level of intensity. And sometimes when in normal circumstances, you'd be able to feed off the crowd and with a big hit or with a big play. Now you don't have that. And I know you have a lot of quiet leaders on your team. Do you almost have to manufacture that on the bench? Do you have to get more active, like on the bench? Do guys have to be more involved in that regard to kind of try and keep that level, that energy up?
I think if you're going out of your way to try to do something that's not normal, it's a phony way. You create momentum, you create excitement in your game by what you're doing in the game. Just a rah-rah for the sake of rah-rah, I don't get that. But when your team plays well and you're engaged in the game and you're emotionally and physically engaged in the game, your team should have all the emotion it needs. And you got to remember, we're playing in our rink, but both teams are playing exactly the same situation. There's no fans, there's a little music in the background. So anything that's a distraction like that you think that is hindering your performance is not cognizant to what we're trying to do.
Next question to Ben Pope, Chicago Sun-Times. Go ahead, Ben.
Dave, what did you think about each of your goaltenders' performance yesterday, and have you thought about yet who will start tomorrow?
I thought both of them were fine yesterday. Smith's turnover was one he'd probably like to have back, but He made 2 point-blank saves before that we turned over the puck right in front of him. So that wasn't a goaltender problem yesterday. That was the players in front of him problem. And I'll talk about our goaltenders later tonight.
Next question, Daniel Nugent-Bowman.
Yeah, sorry, Dave, just to piggyback on that, just because you did rotate your goaltenders you kept a tight rotation, and you said how that has helped and did help during the regular season. How does your plan kind of deviate a little bit in the playoffs, given obviously that there's more at stake and every game matters a little bit more than the regular season?
The plan is day to day. We talk about it in the evening. We'll figure out who's going to play the next day.
We'll take 2 more questions. Jason Gregor up next. Go ahead, Jason, as soon as your microphone's active.
Dave, Tyler Ennis left briefly in that game. What any other lineup changes you're looking at as far as skaters for tomorrow?
No, we had everybody on the ice. Ennis is fine.
Question from Rob Tishkowski, and then we'll take 1 more after from Jack Marcus. Rob, go ahead as soon as your microphone's active.
Yeah, hi, Coach. There's the old saying in hockey that you can't just flick a switch when the playoffs come around and turn it on for the playoffs. In essence, that's what's being asked of this team right now. They have to kind of find that mental game that they didn't have in game 1. Are you confident that they can do that, or are you still curious on what you're going to see in game 2?
Well, you'd like to think, I thought we would see it last game, so you'd like to think it would come, but everybody's in the same boat. You know, there's not as if you had a run up to this or anything. It's we knew exactly what to expect, and you know, when you show up on the ice, you got to play the way you're supposed to play and give yourself a chance to win, and we've got to do a better job of that tomorrow night.
We'll take final question from Jack Michaels. Jack, go ahead.
Does the battle level you're alluding to, Dave, also include the draws? Because a lot of trouble seemed to emanate off lost faceoffs yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, that's starting with the puck is a big part of it. You know, we give up 2 goals off faceoffs, 1 on the PK and 1 in even strength. So there's certain things that you want to make sure you're taking care of there. So that's certainly a part of the battle. I mean, that's a puck battle that starts right when the puck drops. So that's something you certainly have to be ready for.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Coach Tippett. That will conclude today's media availability here. Thank you.
And there was head coach Dave Tippett from the JW Marriott. He said we have to be more physically engaging in the play. That doesn't mean going around and bumping every single thing that you see in your way, but winning battles in the corner, being tough in the corners, being tough to play against. He says it's very easy to talk about it, but it's time to be about it. We'll see what the Oilers can be tomorrow for Game 2 against the Chicago Blackhawks. And just a quick update on the out-of-town scoreboard. The Arizona Coyotes and the Nashville Predators were the first game on this day. And the Coyotes defeating the Predators 4-3 here at Rogers Place. They take a 1-0 series lead in their best of 5. The Flyers beat the Bruins 4-1 in Toronto. And we just saw a puck drop to my left here for the St. Louis and Colorado game. That should be a good one. It is the round robin. And later on tonight, the Toronto Maple Leafs take on the Columbus Blue Jackets. Minnesota Wild take on the Vancouver Canucks to round out the day. And just to mention one more time, the Remax 50-50 tomorrow for Game 2 between the Oilers and the Blackhawks opens at 9 a.m. Just like every other game day, it's going to open at 9 a.m. You can purchase your Remax 50-50 tickets until 10:30 that night, with the winner announced at 11:30. Again, yesterday's pot, over $380,000 taken home by a lucky winner here in Alberta. I'm Tony Barr signing off for Oilers TV. Thanks so much for making us a part of your evening, and as always, stay safe.